On.
The river. It is a spade.
God damn. Spade, up 2-1. That's loose cannon. He's up 2-1.
Why did you go for 4 times? You went for...
Hey, man, I just thinking of more outs, man.
Oh, this is like slow roll. One more time. One more time. Put a king ball out there.
Ernest Wiggins has now won half the pot.
This is the thing right here. This is it right here, man. This is like the action right here.
Helmut loves you.
Yeah, I really like it. Come on, one more. King. One more king.
The final run.
Ernest's odds continue to get worse and worse, but Phil looks sick anyway.
A queen on the turn.
Jack. There's a jack.
You want a jack? That would be
king.
fair.
King or a jack? One time. There's what? 3 jacks left
right now.
The final river card. It's a king.
That's real. He hit 3 out of 4. He hit 3 out of 4.
That's
with the worst hand. Why is everyone so happy except Phil? That's what I'm talking about. Huh?
Oh, yeah. That'll work, man. Yeah.
If you do it once, you lose a whole lot. And every time you did it an extra time, you won a higher percentage of the pot. If you did it twice, 50%.
Phil deserved that. Doing that with ace-9.
Tony, can you please shut up?
The bike's coming.
Why? He's having fun.
I mean, come on, Matt. You just want to rub salt in my wound every time. Show some class. Show some class.
But the hand. You're a professional. You're not meant to play like that.
I thought he might have tons full. That's the way I think, okay?
No,
now, you want to make fun of me? That's fine.
Ace-9,
You want to make fun of me? That's fine.
That's worse than King-Jack.
When you got so excited, I thought maybe you flopped tons full. That's all. So, I mean, these people, they don't...
Would have been better off.
These people, he's got it.
We got a day in. We're part of they again.
We're in the van.
Ask Doyle. Ask Doyle. I mean, this is the way I play poker, so...
This is not a good move. You know I'm calling you with ace... What are you doing? You're putting 12% of your chips in.
I put in 74,000 like a 7-1 favorite. What do you want?
Daniel loves that.
That was so funny. Jeez.
You got quartered.
You get all that pretty money, buddy.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
Now you back in the black.
Here we go. Thank you, babe. Thank you. Back and pole, man.
It's not something I do.
Wow. Gotta be kidding me. Come on.
I'm all in.
I call.
Wow.
Once or twice, buddy.
Later. The biggest pot in the big game so far. Over 322,000 ends up in the middle.
We reshuffled those 2 cards.
No, they don't come back in, Tony.
But up next, Jason Mercier puts Barry Greenstein to the test.
I'm all in. Oh, sure.
That's when we return on the best of the big game. Welcome back to Las Vegas and the best of the big game. Our next hand features 2 young poker superstars, Jason Mercier and the 2009 World Series of Poker main event champion, Joe Cata.
It was early in the session, and both players were still trying to get a feel for the game and for the table's loose cannon, Nadia Magnus, and that's where the action started.
Ace-deuce suited. Folds.
Not a bad fold in early position.
Action around now to Barry Greenstein, ace-jack.
This is a pretty easy raise in late position.
He does to 1,500. Jason Mercier, pocket pair on the button. Calls. Joe Cata, 9-8 suited.
He's thinking about doing something here.
What's the pot?
Pot.
Are you raising pot or are you asking?
I'm asking with the pot.
It's always a scary question. What's the most I can raise?
Cata makes it 6,400 to go.
7,000.
Raises 6,400 total.
Danny folds. As does Barry.
Jason's not getting the right odds to try to flop a set, but that's only if he puts Cata on an overpair. If Jason puts Cata on just overcards, which is what Cata does have, then Jason's still a slight favorite.
Joe, he must be listening to you. Mercier makes the call.
Despite the yawn from Kata, are we keeping you up, buddy?
6 Jack 4, 2 clubs, a set of sixes for Mercier.
Jason's set has got Kata drawing ostensibly dead. Kata's going to need more runners in the New York Marathon if he wants to catch up on this hand. Kata made his pre-flop raise out of position as well, so if he's going to continue to represent a big hand, he's probably going to bet here.
Kata does on a bluff, 9,300.
Jason's pretty confident he has the best hand. The only question is, will he try to get his value now or give Kata a little more rope to hang himself?
Hand over the rope, please. A smooth call.
Wonder if Kata can feel it tightening around his neck.
The turn, 9 of hearts.
This is a terrible card for Joe Kata. If you put Jason on a hand like ace-king, he may no longer even think he's bluffing. If he's intent on selling his story, he's going to be donating even more dead money to this pot.
As you can see, Joe Kata is drawing dead. Action is on Joe. He's got second pair. Fired after the flop.
Jason's trying very hard not to give off any tells.
This time, Kata bets 19,000.
Once again, Jason's got the same decision to make here. He's trying to figure out if there's a way he can get Kata to commit more chips on the river or if he wants to try to raise him here. Just calling has worked out pretty well so far. This bet from Joe Kata is basically a semi-bluff. He does have a pair, but he's trying to represent something bigger.
Second consecutive street, Mercier just makes the smooth call.
With 2 smooth calls in a row, Kata may be realizing that the jig is up.
The river, 3 of clubs.
That card does complete some flush and straight draws. Kata didn't like his hand before. He probably hates it now.
He checks on over to Mercier.
Mercier's got one last shot to try to extract some value from his set of sixes.
On.
Jason's not holding anything back, moving all in.
It's a pretty ambitious value bet. All Kata's got is a pair. Jason's hoping Kata has an overpair and can't fold.
But Joe does call it quits. And Jason Mercier wins a nice sized pot with his set. Our next hand, same table, same game, only this time Mercier found a new playmate. Down over 25 grand, the young pro tried to pick on one of the game's elder statesmen, Barry Greenstein. And here's how it worked out. Action continues on hand 76. Joe Cassidy has replaced the departed Joe Kata. Cassidy bought in for 100 grand. Jason Mercier first to act, 5-3 suited, a raise to 1,400. Cassidy is next. Joe C folds. Danny, out of here. Nadia on the button. Ace-3 offsuit. Folds. So does Justin. Barry makes the call with King-10 suited.
Barry looking to take Jason's allowance money.
2 to the flop. 6-10-4. Barry checks. Top pair.
Top pair versus a draw. This should be interesting.
Jason bets 2,100.
Jason's open-ended.
Barry raises to 6,000.
It's a thin check raise for value. He's hoping Jason has a small pair.
Mercier calls.
Jason's got good implied odds if he hits his straight. Barry may keep the pressure on, do the betting for him.
The turn completes Jason straight.
Now, if Barry was putting him on a small pair before, this deuce won't matter to him. He's going to keep firing.
Barry does fire 10,000.
Barry thinks this is a value bet. But Jason now has the nuts. He's trying to figure out how to get max value. He doesn't want to chase Barry out of this pot.
Mercier comes over the top to 24-5.
Because Barry check raised the flop and then let out on the turn, Jason's putting him on a hand strong enough to call this raise.
Greenstein calls.
Barry makes the call because he thinks top pair is good a lot of the time against Jason's range.
The river, the ace of diamonds. Barry checks.
This ace doesn't change anything for Jason. He still has the nuts. Gonna try to get max value.
Come on.
Jason Mercier moves all in.
Jason was a little short going into this hand, so he had less than the size of the pot to bet. It's going to be tough for Barry to get a read on him based on his bet size.
How much you have?
I think it's 42.